What's good, internet? Faded Gamer here, and I'm finally back with a new video. Today I'll be doing a video on the Hitokiri. He's the new character that just came out recently. I'm also going to be talking about For Honor in general, kind of tell you where I'm at with the game. It's been 3 years and I've been playing since before it actually came out. During the open beta, I wasn't able to get into the closed beta, but been there for quite a long time. As for this new game mode, Soul Rush, it's actually quite fun. I think it just finished maybe a couple of days ago, or probably last week, depending on how far along you've seen this video. But I gotta say, it's an interesting mode though. I kind of do like the whole supernatural aesthetic they got going. Like you're running around stealing souls like Shang Tsung, which is cool. It's fun. And there's also, like, if you go to the soul points where you give off your soul, like there's like these 2 points in the map where if you go with all the souls you've collected, you go there, you can actually, not only do you get you get your health back, but you also get like a temporary revenge mode from it too, which is cool. I like that. The game though itself, the game mode can go really quickly or really slowly, depending on how much your team is doing. Like you and your team is like taking souls. So like the point of the mode is to take souls. I mean, it's called Soul Rush, but you can finish a game mode in like 3 minutes. Like this match in particular doesn't go on too long because the guys I was playing with here were pretty good at collecting souls, and I gotta say it's fine. I mean, it's an interesting thing to bring in. I find it enjoyable and fresh that they every so often have like these new events that come out. I don't always play them. Like some I find a little lackluster. Others I would be like, wow, okay, it's fun. Take for instance the realistic Dominion mode. That's a fun one I like to play every now and then, because it kind of like, it's more like kind of real life fighting, I guess, in a sense, even though it's still a video game, but it's fun. As for the Hitokiri, I gotta say, I mean, he goes hand in hand with this Soul Rush mode, so I mean, obviously he's fun, and I've actually really enjoyed him. Like I didn't think I was going to enjoy the new heroes like the Vortiger that just came out. Like I assumed that I was going to play him for a little bit just to make a couple of videos, or maybe just one video and stop playing him, but I find that I've actually kind of leveled that guy up a lot. I got him to the point where I got some cool armor on him, like a cool sword as well. He's pretty G. I like to play him every now and then. The same goes for the Hitokiri. I thought I was going to be like, oh, I thought it would be like a chore for me to play this guy. I'd have to like kind of will myself to get through it so I could just make a video for it, but honestly, I have no problem with it. I have a lot of fun. I think I might have a little bit more fun with the Hitokiri than I do with the Vortiger, although I do like them both, and I do plan on playing with both of them. I used to say that Kensei and Arusha were my two mains, which they kind of still are, but I stopped considering characters in this game like mains and stuff because of the fact that I've enjoyed the 2 new characters that come out, and it's fun. Like I find that I can. It's hard at first to adjust to that new playstyle because the Hitokiri doesn't play like the Vortiger, and the Vortiger does not play like the Kensei or the Aramusha, but they do play like other characters that I've come across, so it's not like a completely new experience to play them or play against these characters, but it's a fresh one. It's definitely a fresh experience, and I'm not gonna lie, his what's that called, the block damage that you get, or like I forgot what it's called. It's when he has heavies, he's like uninterruptible. I forgot the term for it, but that can come in handy if you aim it just right. You could probably piss off a lot of people playing this game, which is fine. I mean, I think that's what the Hitokiri, they designed him to be, because I remember watching them talk about it during the For Honor Warriors Den, talking about Hitokiri. He's kind of like he's supposed to be like a Shigoki, but a little bit more aggressive, and that's kind of how you should play him. Is you should use the heavy attacks a lot, but be mindful that they can parry it even if you do the switch up, because of the fact that the Hitokiri, you can kind of hold on to their heavies, so you can kind of throw them off their timing if you just keep using a lot of fast heavies and then kind of like weed one slightly longer heavy that you hold. You can actually cause them to like mess up, and you can kill them immediately like that, which is fun. And not gonna lie, that one move, that one perk he gets, the 200 damage attack, that if you land it, it's it's pretty much a one-hit KO. It's fun, but it's not as OP as people might want to think it is. Because I mean, there is a bit of tracking to it, but the trick is just wait for that last hit, or for when he actually starts to hit you, and then you dodge, and then you'll be fine. Because what I've noticed is the one thing about this game, I'm gonna start talking about For Honor in general, is the one way I find good counters to each character is if you play against bots. Like every now and then play a bot match with either by yourself or just play with some random people online, but play a bot match and you'll find out the little counters to your character. Even all the OP ones, you think the ones that are OP, you'll find the counters, because the bots, especially the level 2, level 3, they're not super hard, but they do have game. Like that, they're no pushovers. But one thing I do learn from these bots is they know how to counter every character, and in the very subtle ways, and it makes you think like, wow, okay, this is something that's very good. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the developers put that mode in, is for people who don't really like to play against other players, and also they kind of find out how the character that they like playing, or the character they're playing at the moment, can be countered, which is fun, and that's a good aspect to the game. And now into just For Honor in general. For me, if you're a regular to this channel, you know that I'm a big fan of For Honors. Like out of all of the videos I have on my channel, about 50 of them, or like 40 or 50 of them, are dedicated directly just for For Nothing wrong with that. I always planned on making videos for this game when I first heard about it, like 4 or 5 years ago, when they first started showing off gameplay, and it was fun. It was a game that I realized it's going to be a multiplayer game like Call of Duty, where you're gonna get their toxic players and all that. You're gonna have people who are really good at the game, but it's a new game that I could see myself getting good at. And quite honestly, I'm actually pretty good at this game when I choose to focus. That is, I mean, if I'm just kind of like messing around, just kind of just like playing to play, I'll probably lose a lot more. But should I focus and actually just try and win, or try and just not get killed a lot, I'll do just fine. And I think that's the good thing about this game, is the fact that it's not a huge learning curve. It's more of a easy to pick up game, but once you get the basic mechanics down, it's on you to get better through mind games, and how well you can feint, and how well you can use the character you like to play most often, how well you can use that character in mind games. Because once you learn the very basic stuff, it's all mind games, which is fun, and it's a good way to, like, it kind of reminds me of a fighting game in that sense, where you gotta kind of like find ways to trick your opponent, because blocking is really good in this game. And I've heard here or there about the whole blocking is a little bit overpowered. It's not really overpowered when you realize there's a lot more people out there who like to spam R1 or R2, myself included, because I get parried enough to know so. But I feel like that's what they're missing the big point about this game. It's supposed to be more of like a mind game kind of thing. You can do spamming, because I mean, spamming has its place. R1 spamming and R2 spamming, it does have its place. But what I think will get you better is kind of what Bruce Lee would say. You know, you gotta be the water, or Sun Tzu from the Art of War. You gotta be formless, and that kind of comes through in this game as well. Like, if you constantly just use the same techniques to try and attack people, eventually they'll catch on. Especially if you're playing against other players, and good ones at that, they'll notice your patterns and they'll adjust to it. So you must do the same thing as well. You gotta always keep them on their toes, because one thing too is there are people who've been playing just as long as me and longer, and I'd say some of them are good and some of them aren't. And that's what leads me to realize that ranking in this game isn't really a set thing. Like, if you're going up against somebody who has like 100 in rank, or has been playing if you know anybody if you see people with like 100 or 120, or people with high ranks, you know they've been playing a lot. But that isn't necessarily an actual representation of their skills. Sometimes, a lot of times, it can happen through just like using the XP bonuses, using champion status. You can get up in ranking relatively quickly if you want. Doesn't necessarily mean you're that good at the game. I've come up against people like that, and that's what leads me to realize it's more about the mind games and how formless you can be with the characters, which is fun. And I think that's the best aspect of this game, and what has kept me playing for the past 3 years, is that If I'm losing a lot of matches, it's because I'm not trying and I'm being predictable. That's the main thing, and that's fine. I just gotta either switch it up or stop playing and shake off all the salt from losing. Either way. But with that being said, this game is really enjoyable, and I have a feeling it's gonna go on for much longer. Like if the other games from Ubisoft are any indication, like say Rainbow Six Siege for instance, this game is going to be having content come for another couple of years, at least until the second one comes out. And I feel like they're gonna make a second one sometime in 2020s or 2021. They'll talk about it, but for now, I'm gonna be continuing to play For Honor. I'm also gonna be making a lot more videos because I have been slacking, and I want to change that, so I'm going to change that. But with that being said, I've kind of rambled on long enough about this game and where I'm at and how I feel about it. It's a fun game. I do still enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the new. There's still 2 more new characters coming out, so be on the lookout for videos on those ones. But with that being said, I'm the Faded Gamer, and I will see you guys in the next episode.
Victory!